Hello everyone, thank you so much for clicking this video and welcome to my channel. Hello, my name is Pam and I am a Filipina currently living in United States of America in New York State. So for today's video, we will be talking about how I got confident with my English. When I first came over here in the year 2016, it was a really huge move. I left everything in the Philippines and I moved in with the love of my life, my husband, and I got married on a January 2017. And from that moment, everything kind of changed in a good way, sometimes in a not a bad, I would not say bad, but challenging way, especially the communication. When I first got my job, I think I was working at a nursing home, and most of the coworkers I had there are very nice. I kept telling them that this is my first job and this is my first time being exposed to this new culture, and I would love for them to ask me or to teach me communication skills, how to pronounce words, how to say it. Sometimes slang words are my weakness. I kept telling them I could speak English and would understand it, but slang words are my I'm still working on that. And after that kind of built my confidence because they are very nice. Shout out to my girls at the Leroy Village Green. And after that, I had to leave, unfortunately. I ended up working in a hotel as a front desk. I am actually a nurse back home in the Philippines, a community nurse. And in here, I am not that confident with my communication skills. So I want to learn more about this culture because America is a very diverse country and I just want to learn more. I want to learn more. So that's what I told my husband. I want to be working in an area where I'd be able to learn more, explore more, and be exposed more in this diverse culture of America. And I want to learn my communication. I want to grow. I want to professionally grow as far as communication skills. The number one thing I did is that don't be afraid to make mistakes. For those people, my people, the Filipino community out there that will be watching this video, you know, we are notorious on making fun of our kababayan, which means fellow men, whenever they pronounce words the wrong way. We would always giggle about it and we don't mean to hurt your feelings, but unintentionally we did. I have a best friend. I love Deborah so much, but whenever I pronounce some word, she is like a grammar Nazi, something like that, whatever. She would always like, what did you say? And then we'd start giggling about it. And because of me being like, okay, so my confidence kind of like trampled with a big bulldozer, and I was just like having a little buds of confidence coming out from me, and then she just like, boom, I know. So after that, I kind of learned not to laugh at people whenever they pronounce something wrong. I would not really care as long as I got your point. As long as you don't ask my opinion, I would not say something. And yeah, don't be afraid to make mistakes. This world is meant to make mistakes. Nobody's perfect, so just keep on going. So the friends that would laugh at how you pronounce words would be fine. They don't really mean it. So, and for those people who would laugh because you pronounce words different way or not the right way, please correct them and not laugh at them. Please. Please. if I am not sure what you're trying to say, I would ask. And don't be afraid to ask. It's fine. I mean, we're not brain reader. Can you imagine if we read each other's brain? Don't read my brain. My husband would always say that I am full of shoes thoughts because I love shoes and purses. That's gonna be cluttering here in my brain. Shoes, purses, stuff like that. But yeah, always ask if you are not sure of what you've heard. And for me, as far as my experience go, I'm just thinking if I should use go or went. As far as my experience went, I don't know, please correct me if this is the wrong way of using those words. I would always ask, especially if people would say, oh, you know what, I have a really good example. A week ago, we had to go to my husband's relatives, and they were talking about, my father-in-law asked, Ken is his name. He's like, Ken, are you out of the woods? And me being curious, I was like, what do you mean out of the woods? And they would start giggling, and I don't take offense of that because I know that, you know, and they know that I am different, and I kept telling and reminding them I am good with English but not with slang. So they are used to it. They're used to it using slang words, and I had to ask them what does out of the woods means, and they started giggling and they said, well, Pam, out of the woods means out of danger. So my husband explained it real good, and I was like, okay, I thought that Ken went out to the woods and grabbed woods, and now he's out of the woods. That's a very good example of don't be afraid to ask questions, because now I know what it meant. So next time I will be asking people if they are like having problems, and would ask them, hey, how are you doing? Are you out of the woods? So that's the number 2 tip. The number 3 tip is practice. You gotta practice. It's so funny because when we were in the Philippines, we would always say like practice makes perfect, but nobody's perfect, so I practice. But you know what I meant. You always have to speak it so that it'll be a nature. Well, for me, I live here, and all of the people I am with speaks English, so I have no excuse not to speak the language. And okay, well, a good example for that would be Filipinas are not Filipinas, but not all, but most of the Filipinos, we have a lot of languages in the Philippines. And for me specifically, I am from the south. I am from the island of Mindanao, and I speak Bisaya. And because of this, because of the Philippines having a lot of languages, we have the number 1, or I'd say national language of the Philippines would be Tagalog. And because I am Bisaya, I am not fluent in speaking Tagalog. And I would always have to stop and think, what does this mean? Or what does this translate into Tagalog? And you know, I am a member of a Filipina page on Facebook, and they would always complain how they think these Filipinas are, oh, they cannot speak Tagalog anymore because they are in America, and you'd think they're like this and that their poop doesn't stink. Somebody that would think higher than anybody else. That's what it meant, that slang. I just used a slang there. So I'm doing great with my slang. So anyway, they would always complain that it is rude if you speak Tagalog to them and you replied using an American English. I'm sorry. They said, let me rephrase that. They were complaining with some Filipinas that whenever they say kamusta to them, they would reply in English, and they find it rude. You are supposed to reply using the same language that they use to start the conversation with. And I was just thinking, I do not think that would be nice to judge somebody being rude just because they use another language in trying to speak to you, because in my case, I don't speak pretty good Tagalog, and I would be able to speak fluently and faster. I'd be responding more quicker using English word, and that's just me because I do not use Tagalog a lot. And it's confusing, people. I speak Bisaya. That's one language. I try to speak. I'm still learning to speak Tagalog. That's number 2. And the number 3 is English. And I keep juggling from this. And also, I am half Ilongga. My father is Ilonggo. So my aunt that lives here would speak Ilongga sometimes. I could pick up some words, but I'm trying my best. So people, don't judge other people whenever they're speaking a different language. As long as I could understand what you're trying to say, I'm fine. You could speak to me in Tagalog, English, Bisaya, but I would always prefer Bisaya because that would mean I would get a break from speaking English. So yes, you gotta have to practice and practice and practice. So, and the next thing you know, it's second to nature. That's my 4th tip. So just a recap for my sake, because I keep forgetting. The number 1 tip would be don't be afraid to make mistakes. The number 2 is ask if you do not know. And the 3rd would be keep practicing and practice. Number 4 would be, I watch movies in English. I listen to music in English. I listen to podcasts, and well, that kind of helps me set my brain up into an English mode, if you know what I mean. I would get a book sometimes. I would just read a couple of sentences or a paragraph or a short story to kind of warm up my brain. When I was working at the hotel, I have to be up by 5 o'clock because I need to be at work at 7. By 5 o'clock, I'm still the Filipina. My brain is Bisaya. Good thing my husband is not home because he leaves earlier than me. So when I wake up, grab a coffee, would play something on TV, news, whatever, just for a little bit of noise because I'm alone. And on my way to work, I would play something English on the radio, a podcast, kind of tricks my brain that, okay, it's an English mode because we're going to an English community. And while watching movie, especially watching movie, I don't know, I have to have a closed caption, a subtitle, like in the bottom of the screen. I would always ask my husband if we end up watching a movie, can you please put a subtitle on the very bottom so that I would understand better. Because sometimes they would mumble on the TV and I'm like, what did they said? What did they just said? So now with that subtitle, it'll be more easier for me to understand the story plot and would help me construct my English phrase better for people to understand it better. So, yep, trick your brain into putting into an English mode. For me, that helps, so hopefully that would help for you too. If you're still listening to me, thank you very much and I appreciate it. And again, let me know in the comments down below if you kind of like this. If you like this kind of video where we're just like talking like sisters and friends and we just like share life experiences. I'm running out of words. I'm running out of English words. Anyway, my last step would be patient. Just be patient with yourself. Um, if you make mistakes, okay, and move on, and you learn. Make sure you learn from your mistakes. And I did give my time. I don't get frustrated right away when you pronounce word the wrong way, when you didn't quite understand the right away. And for me, it takes time. It takes time. From the day you were born until, I don't know, when I came over here, I was like 26 years old, 27, I believe. And for that 27 years of my existence, I was speaking Bisaya and sometimes Tagalog and a little bit of English here. So I've been in America for like 4 years. It'll be 4 years now. Um, and I do not expect myself to be very fluent in sorry. I do not expect myself to be fluent in English or that great when I'm just still learning, and it's just 4 years. And just enjoy learning. Give yourself time, be patient, don't beat yourself up if you don't quite get it right away. This is not a race, so just enjoy. And I need coffee. I got my coffee with this Niagara Fall mug. Mug. Here you go. With the New York. Niagara Falls is the famous tourist spot in New York State. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you enjoy this kind of videos because I talk a lot and I would love to express it to this. And if you have some questions and suggestions, please feel free to comment down below. I would love for you guys to be part of this journey of mine. And hopefully everybody is safe, and wear your mask all the time, and God bless everyone. Bye.